What would you do if you found out that a 16-year-old committed a brutal crime and couldn't be tried as an adult? Is the justice system equipped to handle juvenile offenders? Today, we'll explore a shocking case in India and understand how the country deals with crimes committed by minors. Crimes committed by young people are a controversial topic worldwide. In India, a country with over 1.4 billion people, this debate takes on even more complexity. With specific legislation for juvenile offenders, India aims to balance punishment and rehabilitation. But does this approach work? Let's analyze a real case that shocked the nation and understand how Indian justice handles these crimes. In 2022, a brutal crime shook the city of Delhi. A 16-year-old boy was accused of raping and murdering a 12-year-old girl. The crime took place in a residential area, where the victim was lured to an empty lot under the pretext of helping the teenager. Hours later, her body was found, and investigations pointed to the boy as the main suspect. The most shocking detail? The offender already had a police record for harassment, but because he was a minor, he was released without serious consequences. This case reignited the debate over the effectiveness of India's juvenile crime laws. In India, juvenile offenders are governed by the Juvenile Justice Act. According to this law, individuals under 18 are considered minors and cannot be tried as adults, regardless of the crime's severity. The minimum age for criminal responsibility is 7 years old, but between 7 and 12, a child can only be held accountable if they are mature enough to understand the consequences of their actions. For youth between 12 and 18, sentences are served in rehabilitation centers, focusing on education and social reintegration. For serious crimes like murder and rape, the maximum sentence for a minor is 3 years in a reformatory. After turning 18, the individual is released even if the crime was heinous. This approach sparks intense debate. On one side, advocates argue that young people deserve a second chance. On the other, critics claim the law is too lenient and fails to protect society from dangerous offenders. Let's compare India to two other countries, Japan and Germany. In Japan, the age of criminal responsibility is 14, but minors can receive harsher sentences in juvenile detention centers. For serious crimes like homicide, offenders under 18 can be sentenced to up to 10 years of detention, depending on the case's severity. In Germany, the age of criminal responsibility is also 14, but youth between 14 and 18 are tried under a separate juvenile system. For serious crimes like murder, the maximum sentence can be up to 10 years, even for minors. Germany also prioritizes rehabilitation, but imposes longer sentences than India. Meanwhile, in India, the maximum sentence for minors is only 3 years, regardless of the crime. This difference shows how each country balances punishment and rehabilitation in distinct ways. In the case of the 16-year-old in Delhi, he was sentenced to 3 years in a reformatory, as per Indian law. After serving his sentence, he will be released, despite public outcry for harsher punishment. The case sparked significant backlash, with street protests and calls for reform in juvenile legislation. Many argue that the current law fails to protect victims and their families, especially in such severe crimes. So what do you think? Should justice focus on rehabilitating juvenile offenders, even in extreme cases, or is it necessary to toughen laws for serious crimes? Share your opinion in the comments and spread this video to get more people involved in this important discussion. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. See you next time.